GSL Super Tournament. We have been having a great day so far.
It's like every game we've cast has been epic in some way, shape, or form. At least every series has had some crazy situations. Even the days we were casting earlier, we had some awesome games. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, if you want to see some more epic games, definitely go back. If you haven't watched them yet, go ahead and drop the $10 to watch some amazing VODs on gomtv.net. There have been some awesome games.
Yeah, I recommend
Creator
especially
Prime versus MVP is probably what you're going to say.
If you're a Terran or a Protoss, go watch that game. There's a lot to learn about the late game in that game. About planetary fortresses, about map control.
It was crazy.
So much to learn in that game.
And even like a game that I thought was going to be like a joke and not very interesting at all, Juke 2 versus AnyPro, turned out to be amazing. Amazing. But our next matchup, we're going to see the players right now. We have none other than Startail Squirtle, seeing if he can make it a 2 Startail day.
Yeah.
And
his Protoss versus Terran has been kind of lacking. I mean, that's not what I meant to say. His GSL results have been kind of lacking, but his Protoss versus Terran has always been pretty solid. On the screen it says 55.6%, but there's a lot of games there that you're not seeing. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I was doing all the research earlier, and he's scary. He took out MVP in an epic game that I keep referencing that you can't seem to remember in the team league, first team league.
Here's the thing. We just saw on his stat sheet there's Squirtle himself. He hasn't been doing too well. He's been barely in Code A. He's now out of Code A. He's going to have to try and re-qualify. So this is really a big chance for him to try and show his stuff. You know, it's hard to qualify for Code A. But he used to have monster Terran versus Terran. Protoss versus Terran. He beat every Terran he faced. Every single Terran in GSTL February. Like 5 or 6 Terrans. He beat them all. In the Zotac Cup a few months ago, he beat every single Terran he faced, except MarineKingPrime was the only Terran to beat him
and
in the Zotac Cup.
Now.
There's Marine King.
Marine King is no slouch either. Obviously, the Silver King, a lot of people call him. He did win one of the Epic tournaments that I helped run and commentate, but other than that, he doesn't have any first place wins, but he's always in Code S, always making it really far. He did go the up and down matches once, but didn't really carry, just jumped right back into Code S. There's a shot of him now. He's actually my favorite StarCraft 2 player. He revolutionized, in my opinion, TVZ, changed the way it'll be played forever.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I think some of his play that we saw seasons ago will still even be coming back because people have kind of moved away from the Mass Marine. And I think, once people learn to be good enough at it.
Yeah, SC's been doing it a lot, where you just crank out the Marines before, the Banelings have speed, and then you just micro them really well.
No one has really shown the ability to split like Marine King did in that season when he first came up.
Right.
And he hasn't even been doing it a lot lately, but I think it still has potential to be a strategy. Anyway, the first map is going to be Middleopolis, as you guys saw just there. Squirtle has shown some amazing stuff in the past. He's shown very good PvT in the past. Has been very lackluster lately, losing to Supernova in Code A a couple seasons ago. But he might be able to bring it back here. We're going to see in just a moment on Middleopolis here at the GSL.
Startail Squad League versus MarineKingPrime.WE.
And here, at the right side of the map, we have our Protoss player. Most recent games were a win against Kawhi Rice in NASL. He is. Even I messed those two up. I never did before, but everyone started talking about messing those two names up, and I just did now for the first time. Anyway,
to all of us.
Here's our competitor. He is one of the top Terrans. It's a great StarCraft 2. He is
MarineKingPrime.WE.
Former Protoss player, actually got a lot of fans in the crowd. He's a Protoss player in StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
Used the ID Claire, I believe.
Yeah. Optimus Prime.
Of course, Optimus Prime was the name he announced he would choose as soon as he became the #1 Prime player. He may have already become that, but he still doesn't feel confident in himself to call himself Optimus. Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
We'll see if he can win the Super Tournament, though, and gain that title for himself.
Anyway, so yeah, Squirtle is going to go ahead and scout in here. Like I said, his most recent matches, since we haven't seen him too much in GSL, were in the NASL. He did beat Kauai Rice, who's a pretty strong North American Terran.
I want to mention, not to cut you off, but Nexus first on Metalopolis from Squirtle.
Oh, wow.
Like, I saw he didn't have, didn't have a gateway. I was like, oh, he's going to go like 15 gate, really late gateway. No, Nexus first. Probe gets trapped.
All right.
But Squirtle knows you didn't go gas, so Marine King's going to be going for 1 Rax expand gasless. So we're going to see a macro game here on Metalopolis.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing is Squirtle, he's facing a very, very strong player, but versus Protoss is actually Marine King's worst matchup statistically.
Indeed.
And he's had some big losses to Alicia last season, to Inca in Season 2, to Guinea Pig in GSTL May. So, and that probe is going to perish and not see the extra command center. So anyway, Marine King, if he gets past this, he's also going to be playing against Ace in the next round. So this is kind of a proving ground for him. He's got to really face his worst matchup and beat some Protoss players if he's going to succeed in the Super Tournament.
Very true. Now, Marine King has no idea. He's just now sending his first SCB scout to see what Squirtle is up to, and when he sees the Nexus first, I think he's going to panic maybe a little bit. He's going to want to lift his command center and put it down there on the meal. He's going to be like, I wish I built my command center on the low ground. He sees it. Coming in here, the Zealot gets a hit off on him. It's actually so difficult to punish a Protoss player who goes Nexus first, even if you went for a normal type of gas opening. Especially someone like Squirtle, who's such a good player in general.
Yep.
And in fact, that game on Tal'Darim Altar that I keep referencing, that I'm hoping that one day you will remember.
All right, I'll watch the VOD later.
All right, I want to make you, when we get back to the house, I want to make you watch it. But either way, he actually went Nexus first there as well, and he's got a lot of experience in the late game, and I think he just wants to draw it out to that point.
So Squirtle taking control of the tower, and Marine King just kind of powering up here. Get his 3 barracks, get his 2nd orbital, chill on his main, make sure he doesn't die in any shenanigans, and the depot is down. Squirtle, is he going to poke in there? Sees a lot of Marines, and leaves the scene.
He knows there's no gas. He sees only Marines, and he's not seeing anything unusual. I think he just kind of wanted to see how close is your command center to the edge, kind of maybe poke at it a little bit with some stalkers. And in fact, he is going to move some stalkers forward, make a forward pylon, because he knows you've got only Marines, and if you've got only Marines, then I can just use my stalkers to be annoying forever.
Yeah. Yeah, he can get a lot of damage done with just those 2 stalkers if he micros properly.
There is one Marauder on the way. Stim is on the way as well. Once that Marauder comes out, the stalker pressure may end.
Here's those stalkers, and Marine King, I was going to say it was being clever by pulling the injured Marines back, but he actually decided to stop doing that. But he has a Marauder out now, and he has no idea if concussive shells could be up, so he has to evacuate, leave with those stalkers just in case, because otherwise, one concussive shell hits the stalker, it's dead.
Moltrap,
what's up?
Ghost Academy being made.
Whoa!
Really fast.
Oh, wow.
I've actually started to see this a little bit, especially on the Korean server.
Oh, interesting.
Players going really fast Ghost Academies because the reduced Ghost cost, the gas only costs 100 gas now, so you can kind of afford to make some Ghosts out, get those EMPs off, and if your opponent is depending on those sentries, then he's going to die. He's got to have a decent, healthy composition.
Yeah, exactly. You can EMP the sentries, or we actually even saw, I believe, Boxer just killing the sentries with cloaked ghosts.
Yeah.
Just because they do a fairly good damage. And oh no, the probe! Oh! Almost makes it in.
Marine King's
but does not.
Hitting himself. He's like, I gotta stop leaving that door open. You're a kid, you leave the door open, you go outside in the summer, and your mom always gets mad at you. She's like, why do you keep leaving the door open? We have the AC running. And you're like, I'm sorry, I thought it was closed all the way. You know that happens to you in your childhood. It happened to everybody. Still happens when I visit my parents sometimes. I leave